Morning guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video on the little Fiat 500 automatic salvage build. In the last video we stripped it all down and we was going to get it ready to paint all the bits. So I unboxed all the bumpers and stuff and like I said in the other video, where they've been laying for, I've had them for ages. They might have been a bit deformed, and they was. Let me turn you around and show you what I've done. A little top tip for some of you that might be in my situation. Well, even sometimes when you buy them and they get delivered and they're a little bit deformed sort of thing. So yeah, let me turn you around. There we go. So the back bumper was fine, and the front bumper, what I've done is I just daisy chained a couple of cable ties across there just to pull that back up a little bit. Where it was laid flat, it was a bit sort of misshapen, and round here was a little bit misshapen. I had to heat that up and push that back, but quite common. The way that some of these are stored before you buy them, they're sort of stacked and spread out a bit and what have you. So yeah, this needs a little clean up. This one's a bit filthy, a few little marks over it. But the other one's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this off, start getting these ready, get them prepped and go from there. Right, got my bits ready. So got a bucket in there, cleaning cloth, bit of grey scotch, couple of old bits of sandpaper in there. I've got a bit of 600, a bit of 800 and a block just in case. And I've got some scuffing paste. This is one that I use, Presta scuff stuff. So basically, with most new pre-prime stuff, it's fine to scotch them off and go over them, they're fine. Because we've got a second-hand wing, I might have to sand some of the deeper scratches and what have you out, maybe with a bit of 600 then 800. But the scuff stuff helps you with scotching stuff off, so it makes it more flat, if that makes sense. There are other scuffing compounds that you can use. They just sort of help with the scotching, make life a bit easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scotch the two new panels off, and then this one I'm going to scotch off. I'm going to scotch them all off first, just to give them a general clean and not go mad on the scotching. Then we can see and assess on the used panel what other marks need sanding out, and then we'll go forward from there. So let me get these scotched off and then I'll pop back in a bit. There we go. So I wasn't scotching these to scotch them, if that makes sense, to sand it. It was just to clean everything off and have a look so I can inspect it. The Scotch cloth I was using was just the older one that's been in the bucket for ages. So now I can see what marks we've got. So I will go over that with a bit of 800 and the same round there. Smooth all them little scratches out. What we got over here, let's have a look. So them, I'll sand them out, and same again there. Rest of it's okay, so I will re-scotch this with a new Scotch cloth properly afterwards. The black bit at the bottom stays black, so I'm going to have to take that off. I should have done that when I was scotching, but to be honest I was quite careful there. And then the wing, we can have a look at the wing. So I've got a few chips and scrapes along here. So on the wing, because this is old paint and an old panel, I'm going to buzz these down with a bit of 600 and then 800, and then we'll finish on a scotch. There's another little chip there and a few marks over here. So now I've cleaned everything down, work out what's what, and then we'll go forward from there. So I'm going to start sanding these scratches out, and I'll see you in a bit. aside from my
slow. There goes the same, there goes the same.
What you just see there, 600 grit weren't quite working on all them stone chips and abrasions on that wing, so I went and got a bit of 400 grit and I've opened them, or I call it opening them up. So I've removed them and feathered it all the way out with 400, and I've buzzed over the wing afterwards with a bit of 600 grit, and then the same on the scratches on the bumper, and I've burnt through their black primer. These are primed in black primer, so nibbed out all them little scratches there. So, and I've gone back over them with 600. So what I'm going to do now, you don't have to do that, but where I've burnt through, there's bits of it metal exposed. I'm just going to get a bit of etch primer and dust a bit over them on the 600, and then I'll when it's dry, I'll wet sand that down with 800. And what I'm going to do, these, I call these Chinesey bumpers. So in general, some of these bumpers, I don't quite know the chemical makeup of them or what have you, but some of these, for some reason, give painters problems with like solvent boil and stuff. There's something to do within the chemicals, within the plastic. When you rub through their primer, it can cause you problems with solvent-based paint. So I'm going to put an isolator over these, and I'll probably smash an isolator over that wing. So we could use like a wet on wet primer over this. For people that don't know what that means, that's a non-sanding primer. So you'd use it in like a finer atomizing spray gun rather than your primer gun, so it gives you like a nice painted finish and you can paint straight over. So for the purpose of these bumpers where I've cut through them, I'm going to use a product called Barcoat, which is an isolator, and it's also sort of like a primer. You can paint straight over it. So that's what's going to happen with them, and I'll probably run over that with Barcoat. So I'm just going to get me etch primer in a tin, go over them cut throughs on that. I'll probably bust some over them as well, let that dry, and then we'll flat that down with 800 and start getting it ready to put a bit of Barcoat on. So different etch primers you could use. This is the one I'm using today, Pro XL Pro Etch. It's like a 1K product, normal aerosol can, spray it on, let it dry, and you're ready.
I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by.
There we go. We'll let that dry off, and then we'll start flattening that down with 800.
I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by. I think a fall angel just walked by.
Right guys, that's them all sanded, sorted. I'm going to clean up, get ready, and then we'll start getting some Barcoat on and some paint. See you in a bit. See how these have come out. A few bits of crap, but that's standard. They're good enough. Trying to get my head around the speed and everything. That DeVille, this DV1 gun that I just used to clear coat these. I've only actually used it about 3 times. It's still a new gun to me. So once I get a bit more usage out of it, work out the sort of speed that it likes to perform at, and you know what kind of finishes that I can replicate with it and stuff. But yeah, no, in general, I mean, I'm fairly happy. They come out looking quite nice, to be fair. But when I get a bit more usage out of that gun and dial it in a bit and learn the sweet spot and, you know, how quick I need to move with it and stuff like that. If you're a painter, you know. If you're not a painter, then every gun performs differently, different speeds. You know, they like this pressure, that pressure, you know. So, yeah, I've only used it 3 times, but it's performing nice. I quite like it. When I first got it, I bought it with a 1.2 tip and set up, and I didn't like it, so I got the 1.3 for it. Much better, much faster. I don't like some guns you clear coat with them really, really slow. Well, so, to me, they're really slow, but some people like that. I prefer a faster clear coat gun, and the 1.3 setup definitely makes that a lot better. So yeah, that's cool. I'm quite happy with them. Standard, leaves a little flat and polished, little D-nib. But yeah, what we'll do is we get these fitted up in the next one. That's going to be it for today's video. I'd like to say a massive thank you to all the new subscribers and welcome. And yeah, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Share the videos about as normal, guys. And we'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.